Hi, this is Keiko from Brooklyn Shoe Space. How are you? I hope my headphone works. I'm not sure if it's working. Today for Shoe Talks, we are inviting Zen of Greenwich Vintage Co. I think he's on, so I'm just gonna have him join me right away. Let me just see. Go live with. Great. Hi.
Hi, hold on. Let me switch. I'm here.
Hey.
Let me switch this around real quick. I'm on my iPad, so
Okay.
let's see. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. I don't know how to switch it around. It doesn't show me where to switch it around.
I think if you just click on the screen itself, maybe.
Let's see. There's no water. Let's see. Hold on. Um,
This is great. It's like, why didn't we think of this sooner to just like talk
I got
by
it. Yeah.
FaceTime?
There we go. There we go. You see me?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Can you
How
hear?
are you?
Good. Can you hear me okay too?
I can hear you perfect.
All right.
Can you
How
hear
have you
me?
been? You have a jacket on. Does that mean it's cold where you are?
I'm in Minnesota, so
Yes. Is it still
yeah,
kind of wintry?
no, it's really rainy today. It's actually really rainy today, and it's been moderately warmer now. Most of the snow is gone, so we are having like a spring thing. But yeah, it's awesome. It's weather. We can go outside. Dog doesn't have to literally go on the porch, pee, and run back in.
Yeah. They're not gonna
And
freeze to
then,
death. Yeah.
yep, and then the 6-year-old, he gets to go outside now and go play, and
Uh-huh.
instead of being inside constantly. So, and then where we live, it's total suburbia. It's like farms
Space.
and cows, and yeah, so he can go and do whatever he wants to do whenever he wants to do it. So, how are you? How's the baby? How
Good.
are things?
Good. Oh
Good.
yeah, yes, I have a
I
baby.
do. I pay attention. I pay attention.
Yeah, no,
I pay
she's
attention.
great. Growing
Awesome.
way too fast, but you know how.
That they always do. They
Yeah,
always do.
yeah.
My middle child just turned 25 the other day.
Oh, how many do you have?
I have three. I have
Uh-huh.
two boys and a girl. So, is the lighting okay? Do you need me to do anything? Are you see me okay?
Yes, I see you. It's just kind of
Okay.
amazing
I
that I
hope
get to see
everything.
you while we talk because I remember we talked on the phone long time
Yeah,
ago.
a long
But
time ago. Yeah.
yeah, this technology, I
Yeah.
don't know if it existed back then. I didn't even think about it, you know?
FaceTime was definitely
Oh
there
yeah, you're
though.
right. You're right. I don't know why I didn't think about it
FaceTime,
though.
but this like on like the platform and stuff like this is awesome. So, but I really appreciate you asking me to do it, and I'm always in your corner, and I always big you up, and back when you were actually doing the space and doing that, it would have been awesome to go.
Yeah. Yeah, we
But
wanted to do
you know,
classes. Yeah, it was just kind of a
yeah,
backstory. Yeah, was it like 3 or 4 years ago, maybe 4 or 5 years ago? Yeah, we reached
it
out. I think,
4 or 5, yeah, for
yeah, we
sure.
wanted to do a class making
Yeah,
outsoles, and that's how I
yeah,
reached
good.
out because you're the
Yeah.
only one who makes outsoles, pours it yourself, and like does.
I'm
I
still the only one after 10 years.
No, I think there's a few, but still, it's a lot of
Yeah,
it's production, and
it is.
also getting all the tooling,
Yep.
and material component. Like it's a
Yeah.
lot. So I don't think a lot of people do it themselves.
And then, the technology has definitely improved since 10 years ago, 9 years ago, like with, um, you know, bigger companies like Adidas and Nike, they're always pushing the envelope. And Adidas is known for, it's called 40 craft, where they're actually making soles in a what do you call that thing? Um, I don't have a brain for it.
No.
Um, it's like 3D printer. So they're 3D printing, soles and stuff like that. So it's, you know, when you have that type of money and you have that type of capability, you can do whatever you want. Like it's, yeah.
Right.
So
Well, just to kind of warm up and go back into time a
sure.
little bit,
Yeah.
I well, I'm gonna skip a little bit about talking about COVID because it's kind of been like all we talk about. But have you had your space and like were you able to work during this whole past year? And
Yeah.
what
So
has
yeah.
anything changed over this last year?
Oh, for sure, for sure. So last year around February, I was okay. So I never really have done like a retail operation. There wasn't really a walk-in for me. Um, it was basically by appointment only because I live in a town where, it's tiny. Like there couldn't be more than 10,000 people in my town out in Waconia, about 30 minutes outside of Minneapolis. So, um, with before COVID, it was always hustling, running, going, back and forth, back. And then once I got my space finalized to where I could put all my machinery everywhere and I can get everything organized, because I was working out of a shoe repair shop, um, February just took a nosedive. Like
Just move in to your new
the
space
the
last year.
website, the space, the website, nobody like so February, March, April, May, almost till June. I didn't have one single person ask me for anything.
Oh,
Yeah, it, it was nerve-wracking, but I was like, you know what? Not because the discussion goes, hey, let's do something else. Like, you need to get a job,
right, right.
and the discussion with the wife and the discussion with my people, like the people that I trust, that I talk to, you know, they're like, don't give up. Like, just do what you can. Just try really hard. Obviously, I filled out all the information to get help from the state, and it's been very helpful. Like, it's been very needed. Um, I don't have any employees, so I didn't take any PPP money. Um, but like the stimulus money, like the first round, the couple rounds helped a lot. I paid the rent on time. Like the landlord was very understandable. They were like, "Hey, we understand, we get it." And then I don't think it was until like the middle of June where my local town was like, "Hey, are you still doing shoes?" I'm like, "I am." Like, I am. And they're like, do you have a spot? Like, what's the deal? I said, listen, with everything that's going on, I can pick up, I can deliver, do the work, drop it off. So we don't have to see each other. And then, there's Venmo, there's PayPal, there's Zelle, there's
Yeah,
Cash App,
yeah.
there's everything.
Oh, yeah.
So it's just like you can buy whatever you want and it's cashless. Like this thing, like my wife's like, you could pay with your watch now, right? I'm like, that's just
Right.
weird.
So, yeah, yeah, yeah. No, it's so futuristic.
Like, I'm like, okay, like
Right.
I'm
Yeah,
just glad it takes time.
yeah.
And she's like, she got this for me because she wants to monitor, my health and stuff like that. Like we're both
I get
on,
it. I get
So with that, July summer was pretty rough. Because in the shoe repair industry, summer is like everybody's wearing flip
it.
flops.
Flops,
Nobody
yeah.
cares about their winter boots.
Yeah.
Like nobody cares about their Uggs. Like nobody
I was like
cares.
send
Like
reminders being like, your fall and winter shoes
yeah,
need like some care.
Yeah, like
TLC.
I understand that they're in the closet with salt,
Yeah.
like stains all, but if you give them to me now, I won't charge you what I would charge you in September, October, because the prices fluctuate. If you come to me in the summer with a boot, like let's say cleaning a suede UGG or um, so any type like resoling doesn't like that pricing always fluctuates, but it's going up and up and up because all the material is super expensive. Like Vibram has, becoming more expensive. Glue is becoming more expensive. Shine, wax, like just to maintain the shop with material is getting to a point where I have to raise my prices. So when I raise my prices, obviously, it only rolls downhill. So now, right now, we are charging 85 for a resole on a work boot. And then if you need welt work or if you need a midsole, it goes increments of 20 and 25 and up. But like if you need a re-welt on a Red Wing boot or your shoe or whatever, I charge 150 bucks because that's my labor and
Yeah.
that's what I charge for
Yeah.
shoe repair.
Yeah.
Other than that, um, you know, it started to loosen up a little bit, especially out here. And when it started to loosen up, then then I was able to go in my town and like old school flyer. Like I went to Vistaprint and got cards, and then I went downtown to my town, and I was just like, boom, 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 boom. Here you go. And now it's starting to slow down again. I got really busy right before November. It started to pick up for me. But once again, you know, the stimulus money and the unemployment, benefits really like has basically
Yeah.
ushered me through.
Yeah.
Because shoe repair, hey, let's face it, the shoe industry is fast fashion. I can't, I can't compete with DSW and all these, f- you know,
Shoes and
all these companies that they make shoes for you that you can buy at 40, $60, wear them for a year, and you throw them in the trash. Like,
yeah.
because
Yeah.
you bring them to me and I'm going to charge you more than what they're worth, which doesn't make sense to me. But at the same time, I want the business. So I have to lower my prices, but everything is steadily going up,
Yeah.
like
Well, I hear
barge
you.
glue. I used to get like a gallon of barge glue for less than 40 bucks. Now it's more than 80,
It's 80 and
and
yeah.
it's just,
So can I ask you something? There's asking, oh, can you hear me? Hello? Can you hear me?
are
Yeah.
okay.
So I have somebody asking Porter Footwear.
Yeah.
He actually makes shoes. He took a
Okay.
class with us and then he is experimenting in his studio, but he says he asks, can you say what you're using to pour your outsole? If it's a trade secret, no problem. Well, we will get to that. I'm gonna write a
Sure.
note and we'll
Yeah.
get to that. But let's go back to your beginnings. How did you get into
Yeah.
shoe industry and like repair
Um,
and
yeah.
outsoles? Like, what was were you always into shoes when you were growing up? Did
Well,
you,
obviously being a poor kid, growing up, part time in LA and part time in New York, born in New York, raised in LA, like obviously you go out and you see the guys that are, dressed fancy. And I grew up in the 80s. Like I'm 51. So the 70s and the 80s was my like era. And my thing was hip hop. Like I've always been a hip hop guy, like ever since I was drawn into the parks and going back. So when we moved to LA from New York, um, LA was more long hair, heavy metal, like Sunset Strip, Hollywood Boulevard, and all my friends were like rock guys, and we would go run around in Hollywood, West Hollywood. We were on the west side of LA. And every once in a while we would go out to, the valley or whatever and hang out and have fun. But nobody was really into hip hop back then because LA was not very hip hop. So when I would go back, so we were fortunate enough to where my parents would send. Oh, you cut out again. You back? So my
Here.
parents would send me back to New York to Washington Heights. That's where my step grandparents were, and my sister and we lived in Riverdale off of Capock Street, right across the street from Denise's Pizza. And, that's where, how they say the get down gets down, like it's just like you're, you know, 9, 10, 11, 12. It's the summer. People are, like it's New York. It's like, it's the
Yeah.
apple. Like,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know, everybody's cooking and doing this and there's always something to do, right? So graffiti was a big thing for me. I
Okay.
did a lot of graffiti. We wrote on a lot of stuff, and there was guys that I knew in LA. There was guys that I knew in New York, and like back then, it was fashionable to draw and paint on your clothing. Like it was the pant legs with the name buckle and the jean jacket, and if you did graffiti, guys would ask you, "Hey, can you paint the back of my Levi jacket with my name, like Tom Ski or Rob Jet Cool,
Yeah.
or
Uh-huh.
if dudes
Uh-huh.
had like a rap group or a breakdancing group, and you did graffiti and they liked your graffiti, they would ask you. So that kind of got me going, right? And then
You go by a name? Did you always go? Did you also like tag a
then,
lot? Uh-huh.
well, yeah, well, I started off like every toy writer, like every like young kid. I started off with like my last name, or Mazi, and I was kind of a fat kid. So I wrote Fatso for a while because that movie with Dom DeLuise came out. So I
Right.
started writing that.
Uh-huh.
And then I didn't really get into my actual the Zen one or Zen until LA. And when we were in LA, I was in high school. I was in the guidance counselor's office, and I was getting reprimanded because I was a lot of trouble. I was a handful when I was a kid.
Okay.
And then there was this poster of this lotus flower with this Zen proverb, and I was like, "Oh, yeah, I think I'm gonna write that." So I started playing with it, just playing with it, playing with it. And then Kelly Graval, who I went to high school with, Risky, who's a good friend of mine. He's a pretty big deal. Um, we
Not
just started,
know. Mm-hmm.
we just started painting together, and we just gravitated to each other. And it's like, "What do you write?" I go, "Zen one," and they're like, everybody's like, "Okay, cool." There's no Zen one, So
Uh-huh.
I kind of lucked out with that. Um, and then I don't know. It was painting shoes at first. Like guys would give me like brand new kicks out of the box, and back then there was no Angelus play. Like there's no Angelus, and it
Okay.
was all, yeah.
So how did you do it? With pens?
It was just paint
Paint
marker or
marker?
what? Yeah, it was horrible. Like we would tape stuff off and hit it with spray paint and make it look cool, and
Uh-huh.
then take paint marker, and then the guy would wear it once, and it would just it would just flake off the paint. Like
Yeah.
so,
Was
like in the
mostly
'80s, we
Nikes?
started doing. No, it was more shell toes. It was more Adidas
Yeah,
shell toes.
okay. Yeah.
Because a lot of breakers,
Yeah.
I knew
Yeah.
a lot of breakers.
Yeah.
I knew a lot of guys that break danced, and a lot of
That's that
we
time.
did some. I did some Pumas back in the day. Like I remember doing Pumas back in the day. A lot of guys that I knew, they weren't into the suede Puma. They were into the leather Clyde Puma. So that was able to take some paint. We weren't very versed in suede yet because it was early. It's like we're talking 84, 85. Like you know, it was just,
Yeah.
it's crazy. Like,
Experience.
so,
And then what happened? So that was in LA, out of
yep,
out of high
yep,
school or around high school.
yep, yep. So, you know, going to college, going to San Diego State, taking art, playing football, like that was, you know, the dream, you know, like every other kid, you know, play football.
Oh,
But I was smoking weed and
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I was doing graffiti and I had like one foot in the school and then I had like one foot in the street, you know? So I was always like, I was always getting in trouble. I was always missing school. I'd be late. And then, you know, obviously I was very entrepreneurial when it came to that stuff,
Oh,
where I would, you know, um, in my mind, if I wanted to, you know, party, obviously I would want to make it available for myself. So I would sell it so I could have some.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
it just makes sense. Like, hey, you know, if you're gonna fuck around, you might as well fuck around. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that was, you know, a big hindrance playing football and stuff like that. You can't do that, and I didn't really take it seriously. And I played, you know, a little bit, and then art was really calling me. My father was a artist, so that the art part was always calling me. So I went and really got into art history. I really got into art. And then I got out of San Diego and I went to Seattle to one of like the first art institutes
Oh.
by Fred Griffin, back in like 89,
Mhm.
80, yep, 89, 90. And Seattle was just off the hook. It was just the Wild West. Like there was, you know, graffiti everywhere, and guys were from Vancouver, guys were coming up from LA, San Francisco. Like it was
Now it's
just,
so clean, right? Yeah.
yeah, it was just crazy, like under bridges, and then beef and battles, and guys trying to, you know, it was really like that's where I would have to say that's where I really cut my teeth on graffiti was in Seattle. Like that was that was a tenuous time, and then I got in serious trouble. I did some stuff that put me away for a while, and then I had my first son, and then I got out. I was on probation for a while, and then I moved to Florida from there. But as far as like I'd always been drawing, I'd always been interested in like doing art, like doing graffiti, and obviously clothing, it goes hand in hand. It's weird. Like the fashion industry always takes from art, and art always takes from fashion. So, you know, the whole time to like kind of supplement money on the side, people would be like, hey, can you do this leather jacket right here with, you know, my name, this, that? I'm like, yeah, okay, whatever. And then it didn't really dawn on me until Florida that we could actually, you know, with the invention of heat transfer and sublimation and silk printing and like that whole when LA was starting to do that stuff with con art and like GAT, like Gats and Thieves and like Pervert and Fucked and like that, all those skate brands and stuff. That's when like the skate brands, because then it morphed into, instead of like hip hop, it was like skate. Like I would hang out at the skate parks, and like the
Uh-huh.
skate parks were bare, and then
Yeah.
we would come in at night and we'd paint the skate ramp, and then we, you know, come back the next day, drink, get high, you know what I'm saying, hang out with the skaters. And I skated a little bit, but I wasn't never really good. But like we would do graffiti on the ramps and nobody would say shit.
Right.
And kids would be like, hey, you know, you tag my shoe? I was like, oh, okay. I'll tag my, you know, I put a like a bubble, like a Sharpie, whatever. And it was cool. Like it was, you know, what it was. Florida, we, you know, some good friends of mine, we started a heat transfer on t-shirts. We were doing a lot of raves. I knew a lot of DJs and a lot of electronic
Yeah.
music in the 90s.
Yeah.
And that, you know, we were doing graffiti. We were like hanging out. And that's when the big influence of like the whole drug culture really permeated to me. And I got in really big trouble, and that's when I went to prison for 5 years.
Wow.
And we
It's a big.
actually, you know, I got busted, and I had to go sit down for a while and go figure it out. And then even in prison, you know, I'm not going to wash anybody's drawers. So I was, you know, making postcards for people, and guys would come up to me and they'd be like, "Hey, Zen." You're like, "Yeah, man, I don't know how to read." I'm like, "What?" He goes, "Yeah, I don't know how to read. Can you read this for me?" I'm like, "Yeah, dude." So I would read their like letters, and then in response from me reading them, they would commission me to do like a little, some roses and like, some artwork, and then they would pay me in food because there was no money back then on the prison. So it was weird. Like it's like, okay. And then obviously I got out,
Currency. Mm-hmm.
um, and I moved to Minnesota. I needed to get out of Florida. Florida wasn't like a good place for me. So I moved to Minnesota in 2000, and 2002, 2003, I gravitated back to graffiti again. I was just like, there's this place where you can paint, and then, on the street, figuring it out, guys, and then trains, and then like metal. I'd always painted trains. Like trains were always a thing. Like painting metal was always a thing.
Yeah.
But
Mm-hmm.
as far as the shoes go, I started to wrap skate gear and snowboard gear with a buddy of mine, and I started to meet all these, influential people in the skate industry, and they would be like, "Oh, you're Zen, right?" I'm like, "Yeah," and they'd be like, "Hey, can you, paint on my shoe? Like, give me a custom shoe." And then like we would send those back to the company, and then the company would be like, "Hey, can you put this on Photoshop?" I'm like, fuck is Photoshop? Like, I don't know what that shit is.
Yeah. All right. What did you do?
Like, what? They're like, yeah, like, can you do it on computer? This and that. And then, after a while, Minnesota's so small, like the ball players start to gravitate to you because they start hearing stuff on the street, and they start seeing stuff that their homies are wearing. And, then it was just Air Force Ones. And then I got introduced to Angelou's paint. And then I figured out, deconstruction, reconstruction. And this is about 04, 05. And in 2005, my stepfather passed away, and he was a very dandy gentleman. He liked to get dressed up. He's an old school guy, right? So he used to actually manage the custom shop on 57th and Lexington in Manhattan. So he was always dressed up. He was always a dressed guy. And he left me suits and ties, and he left me a lot of brogue wingtips. And not only wingtips, but like eel skin, like English made shoes, Edward
Cool.
Green
Yeah.
and St. Crispin, and like really high dollar, like Loki and Pearl and
Yeah.
Company,
Were
like
they
really high dollar.
were they bespoke shoes for him?
Oh, for sure. Yes.
Yeah.
100%. Like eel and like snake skin and like
Did
reptile and like,
size shoe as him?
well, so the thing was is his foot was very narrow. I have a wide foot, but we were the same size. So I would be like, I would like, okay, let me wear these. And obviously I had a beautiful pair of, I think they were eel, and they were green, and they were gorgeous. They were a cap toe, and they were bespoke. And I think they were either from Loki or from Pearl and Company. I can't remember. But I know that when I was a kid, those shoes were a big deal because he paid like $3,500 for them. Because at that time we
Those.
started to have some money.
Yeah.
So in LA, and he paid like $3,500 for them. So they were a really big deal. But
Yeah.
now I
Yeah.
have them in
That's
my hand, and
uh-huh.
and, and I'm like, okay, I want to wear these. So my wife, who was my fiance at that time, she's like, okay, we're gonna go to my friend's wedding, this and that, get dressed up. I'm like, perfect. It's summer, green shoe with like a brown, light brown, tan outfit. Like,
Yeah.
okay, like, okay. Like, I put those shoes on. I didn't even get out of the car. They hurt so bad. And I was like, what can I
Yeah.
do? Like, what can I do? and I had gotten really stale with doing all the Air Force Ones and the customs and the shoes and like the sneakers. Like I've always been a sneakerhead, like Jordans and like everything. I have plenty of them. I've always had them. I just, I was gotten to the age where, I don't want to wear sneakers anymore. Like I'll wear sneakers on the weekend, but like go to work, like I want to wear a real shoe. Like I want to wear. Then I got introduced to Red Wing, living in Minnesota, like Red Wing,
It's right
Wolverine.
there.
It's
Yeah.
right there, right? So I'll never forget it. I was so the funny story is we'll kind of backtrack. When I got from Florida to Minnesota, so they let me out of prison January 28th of 2000. I was on a flight from Florida to here February 5th. And the worst snowstorm had just happened, right, up here. And my stepbrother, who's been up here for years, came to the airport to pick me up. I'm literally in a wife beater, dicky shorts, and like flip flops and a backpack. Like I had nothing. Like
Right.
I had nothing.
And you came
And
to like a snowstorm. Oh my God.
I'm coming to like the frozen tundra, and I didn't know. Like I was so like
Hey,
thinking
you
back.
chose like the most
I was such
opposite.
an idiot.
Yeah.
I was such an idiot. I should have at least like, what's the weather in Minnesota like? And it was really funny because I got on the plane and people were like,
You
and I
have
was,
a
and
coat
I
in
must
your
have been
bag,
like,
right?
oh,
Yeah.
I must have been like they're just looking at my tattoos, like, they're just looking at no, they were looking at me like I was a fucking moron. They're like, dude, you don't have a jacket, you don't have pants on, you don't even have like, what
Yeah.
is wrong with you? I was like, and this is pre 9/11, right? So, flip flop, go ahead. Like, they didn't care. Like, if you didn't beep back then, they were like, okay, go ahead. Like, if you didn't beep, like, they didn't take shoes off. They didn't, they were like, put your bag over there. Like, and if you didn't beep, they let you through. Like, they didn't check your ID. They didn't do none of that stuff. Anyway, so I literally get off the plane and people are like, I'm like, why are people standing? Like, I get it. Like, I understand that I have a lot of tattoos. I'm a big guy. I'm 6'3". I'm almost 300 pounds. Like, I get it, right?
Oh,
But my brother looks at me. He goes, Tommy. I go, yeah. He goes, have you lost your fucking mind? I go, what's the matter? He goes, dude, it's like -25 with like 6 feet of snow. We just had a huge snowstorm. You're going to freeze your balls off. It's like, I was like, are you for real? He goes, dude. And this is when we didn't even have an international airport yet. Like they were just
right.
building the international
Yeah.
airport.
Okay.
So I went to a little ass airport and I
What did
I'm looking around. I go, holy shit,
sweatshirts, jackets. What did you
what am
do?
I gonna do?
Yeah.
Like I have to get to the car. But they were like literally saying that if they were saying, my brother told me, he's like, dude, if you have exposed skin right now, you have about 5 minutes. Like you'll get frostbite quick. So I don't know. The car, I go, dude, check it out. Bring the car, right? Come to the front of the thing, right? To where the doors
And
are, right?
yeah.
Come out, get the car nice and heated, open the door, and I'll run. I go, here, take my bag, and I'll run, and then I'll shut the door. And he goes, okay, dude. And then it was so ironic, though. Right down the street, about a mile, was the Mall of America, like the greatest
Yeah,
mall
yeah,
in
yeah.
like the biggest, like. And I had no idea what that was, right? And we get in the car, and at that time we smoked cigarettes, right? So I was smoking a cigarette because on the airplane, 2 hours, you don't have a cigarette, right? So I we go, and he goes, okay, we're going straight to the mall. And I'm like, cool. He goes, you ever been here? I go, and I see it, and it's just huge.
Yeah.
I go, that's the mall? He goes, yeah, it's the Mall of America.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my God. We went into Macy's. I bought some Timberlands. I bought a Nautica jacket. I bought a
Right.
scarf, beanie, gloves, hat, and I literally took everything, wool socks. And I'll never forget the guy that was helping me. He goes, "You sure you want Timberlands?" I go, "I'm from New York, man. That's what we wear, man.
Where?
Like
Yeah. And
we wear the wheat colored 6-inch with the leather collar, unlaid. Like that's the boot. Like
oh,
that's
but
what we
they're
wear."
like, that's not gonna
And
cut it in
he goes,
Minnesota.
"Dude,"
Yeah.
and I'll never forget it. He goes, "Red Wing." I'm like, "The fuck is a Red Wing?" He goes, "Man, okay, cool, whatever." And I was like, "Nah, I'll stick with Timberlands, dude." And Nautica jacket and the
Yeah,
sweater and the
yeah.
beanie and the gloves and the scarf and I I go, "They have jeans with flannel inside of it?" And my brother goes, "Yeah, to keep your ass warm. Like you got to keep warm." So I bought a pair of those. I bought wool socks. I bought Timberlands and the whole 9 yards. So that was my introduction to Minnesota. That was my Red
And
Wing
yeah.
when I first got
And then did
introduced
you
to Red
figure
Wing.
out that Red Wing was local, like
Right.
soon?
So after about a year or 2 years, yes, they were like, I was like, "Oh, okay," because I saw a bunch of guys. I go, "What kind of boot is that?" And he goes, "Oh, man, that's Red Wing." I go, "Red Wing? What's Red Wing?" And you're like, "Yeah, this is the boot company that's down here. You can drive about an hour south, about a little bit east, and you can go to the factory, and they got a store." And I was like, "Cool."
Cool.
But in the summertime, it's a destination spot too. A lot of people, um, with being 9 months in winter, people really, really up here really like take advantage of the summertime and the springtime. So they're on
Yeah.
motorcycles a lot. A lot of people are, going to the cabin. So I was like, my first time in Red Wing, I was like, "Oh man, this place is awesome."
Some, yeah.
Yeah,
Did you get
it's
like
because
a
it's
maker's bug? Like, did you feel like, oh my God, I want to kind of make
no,
or
no, no. I was already like, I was already kind of like still doing graffiti. So, but no, I didn't get a maker's bug until like 04, 05. That's when it really like took hold of me. 05 is when, the beginning, like YouTube was, you know, where you could go on a YouTube and you could see like really rare guys. Like I would put in, shoe shoe rebuilder or um
much back then?
and it was like very few guys. But now it's like just you can talk to people in
Um,
Zaire or
right,
whatever.
right, right. From your shoes though that your father had, or stepfather
Yeah,
had, that
yeah.
didn't fit you, how did you translate that into like repairing it and
So I
fitting to
took so
you?
I yeah yep. So I took a pair of his and I went to the local shoe repair shop and I go, "Hey man, this is what's happening to me." And he was already helping me with like restitching the tongues in customs and like deconstruction, reconstruction. Because then I got into reconstructing and deconstructing Air Force Ones and putting, different patterns on for, rap guys and NFL guys and NBA guys. And they were always asking me, "Hey, instead of doing art, can you put snakeskin on here, or can you put crocodile on here, or can you put Louis Vuitton on this?" Or like back in the early day, because I was always a fan of Dapper Dan. So Dapper Dan was always an inspiration for me as a kid, New York kid, and seeing all the rap guys, the hip hop guys, Eric B and Rakim and cool, Big Daddy Kane, and like all the guys wearing all his Gucci stuff and Louis Vuitton stuff back in the day, but also the hustlers and the dope dealers used to go to him too. So when I go back to New York from LA and it would be summertime, these guys would be in like Louis Vuitton short sets, with the and I'd be like, "Oh man, that's dope right there." Like, "Oh shit, how much you pay for that?" "Man, you can't afford this right here." I'm like, "Who made that?" And Dapper Dan. And that's when I got introduced to Dapper Dan. And I was like, man. So that's always been in my in my queue is sort of like that, and in LA, seeing the guys, doing, Melrose and like West Hollywood, the punk scene, and the the heavy metal scene, guys always making stuff out of, leather jacket with the spikes. Like who put the spikes on your shoulders? Well, I
Right.
did that. You know
Right,
what I'm
right,
saying? Like
right.
who put the studs on your jacket? I did that. I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, how'd you do that? Like the rivet, like how to do it. So I was always in the quest of doing it, but in '05, '06, that's when it really started. Reconstruction, deconstruction really like interested me. So I was like, you know what? Let me go to the mall, go get a pair of white Air Force Ones, and and I think back then they were like maybe 60, $70. So they weren't that expensive, right? And I got my size, and I just, what's going on? Like,
Yeah.
whoo, like,
So you kind of started doing decon recon with sneakers, and then you let
yeah.
your cobbler or the shoe repair guy work on your shoes from your dad.
So I took a pair, yep, I took a pair of my dad's shoes, and I was like, listen, this is what's going on with these shoes. He goes, okay, we can stretch them, but then the welt's going to bust or something's going to go wrong, and then we're going to have to re-welt it. He goes, why don't you come in? He's a super nice guy. He goes, why don't you come in, and then we'll show you, because I wanted to put like a Christie sole on it, and I wanted a different shape to it, and I wanted something different. And he was like, what? I'm like, yeah,
Yeah.
can I get a Vibram Christie stole in red? And he's like, they don't make that. And I was like, what? He's like, yeah, they don't make that. And back then, you might get Vibram to make like a brick color, like a like a
But
like
that's
a
not,
maroon.
how do you get it though, right? You do have to go, it's
Like
so
how do you
hard.
get it?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, yeah,
exactly,
yeah.
how do you get it?
Yeah.
Because the American companies, they'll sell you black, they'll sell you natural, they'll sell you that's the status quo. Like black and that natural color or whatever, that sand or
Yeah.
off white,
Yeah.
that cream
That's
color or
it.
whatever. But every once in a while, you'd see like a Japanese Red Wing with like a I want to say maroon, like but like a brick color, like, and I'm like, fuck, how do they do that? Where'd they get that? But I wanted like Tiffany blue. I wanted like
Different.
red. I wanted
Um,
like,
bright,
I wanted
vibrant.
something.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
wanted, yeah, I wanted something like boom, right? And then he's like, nah, it's either black or cream
Yeah.
because that's what the distributor gives you. That's
Yeah.
where you buy. Because nobody knew that you could go outside of the distributor back then, like Frankfurt Leather or, the guys in Wisconsin, Ruby Leather, or, Ohio Travel Bag, or the guy in Miami. Like, there's distribution hubs where you can buy shoe repair stuff, obviously, and they get what they get. So I was like, I can fucking do this. Like, there's got to be a way to do this, right? There's got to be. So I go on YouTube, and first I call I have so obviously living in LA, I have a lot of guys in the movie industry. And I go, how you guys make rubber guns? Because most of the guns that you see on TV
Yeah.
shows,
It's
they're
cast
rubber.
and like rubber and yeah.
Yep,
Right, right,
yep, they're rubber.
right.
And you'll never see it go blah, 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 because they're acting.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
So I go, how do you do it? And they're like, now I'm going to tell you the trade secret. They're like, there's this company called Smooth On that makes like the material that we use to make the molds and to make everything. I'm like, oh, okay. And then there was this kid up here. He was kind of like a jack of all trade kid, right? He's a young guy. And I knew him, and I was like, hey, man, this is what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to make a mold so I can pour this stuff to make an outsole. And he's like, yeah, I know that company. I work with that company. I'm like, can you make me a shoe mold? He goes, well, we do CAD design. Like, when I go, no, just grab it from over here, change it when you go to do it, and then pour the silicone, because they're all silicone made, right? The molds are. And he's like, okay. And then I put my logo on it, and then I was like, what? I can do this? And then, calling the company, calling them to say, how can I make it lighter? I don't have. So most of the stuff that you buy on the shoe repair industry, and most of the stuff that Vibram and what's the other company in Kansas City? What's their name? Not Merrick. Merrick. They do a lot of work with Thorogood,
Merrick.
and they have blown injection, especially Red Wing too. So it's foam, and it turns into like the cloudy stuff. And I was like, well, I want to be a solid. Plus, I don't have $500 million to get a blown injection machine that, I'm doing this out of the basement of my house, dude. Like one other, I'm like, and I'm in the back of a repair shop trying to push it, and this is like already 2010. But in 06, 07, I had put that Vibram sole on the wingtip, and we put, stuff together, and I started to wear them around town. And at that time, we were throwing, two business partners of mine, we were throwing a dance party downtown Minneapolis to fund. So Greenwich Vintage, we started out as a clothing company, like repairing and like outsourcing and sourcing vintage clothing. And then we got into doing shoes and stuff like that. But my two other business partners who, now left the company, I came with the idea of doing the wingtip with the colored sole and stuff like that. And then, I don't know, like 4 months later, Cole Haan was like, check it out. And I was like, oh, shit. I'm like, oh, okay. And then I kind of stepped back for a minute. I'm like, should I do this? And I'm like, yeah, we're going to do this. The one motivating factor that really got me on making my own soles was the conversation I had with Vibram. And I called them. I called the Virginia factory first. And very difficult to talk to anybody over there. They make it very hard. I got told no, basically. This is what we make.
A custom one. They wouldn't make you one, you mean? You wanted to collaborate? Yeah. Mm-hmm.
No, I just wanted a different color. I don't care if it said Vibram on it. I didn't care.
Yeah.
I didn't care. Can I get red? Can I get teal? Can I get like Tiffany blue? Can I get green? And they do make green. They make green for the military. And that's a flat. That's a
yeah.
I have one.
Right.
I had a whole bucket full of them. But they do make a color.
It's not a Kelly green. It's like the military.
It's a
green.
military olive, like your lasts in the back.
Right.
And they're a flat. They're a flat sole. Yeah. It's almost like an old school military sole for like officers and stuff like that. So I know they do make it, but I was told no. But very firmly, like to the point where I was like, you know what? I'm gonna try it. Yeah, for sure. Like, and then I was like, you know what? Let me give it one more shot. And I started to talk to Italy. And I'm like, you're not from America? And they're like, no. I'm like, Vibram isn't an American company. And they're like, no. I'm like, you guys have been Italian this whole time? They're like, yeah. I'm like, okay, right? Bye.
Right.
I was like, I don't, I want it here. Like, I want it here. I want to make it here. Like, I want to do it here. Like, this is where I want to make it, right? And everybody in the shoe industry, everybody that I talked to, they were like, there's no way you can do that. There's no way you can do it. There's no way you can make your own sole. I'm like, you're crazy. Like, it's not that hard.
Show us. Yeah.
Boom.
Boom, you got it done. So
Yeah.
you made your is it like, did you make a lot of prototypes using the
Oh, for
smooth out
sure. So like
materials
the
and
first, yeah. So
created?
we spent as a company, yeah. So as a company, we spent about $20,000 getting it dialed in, which came out of the pocket of one of my business partners
Yeah.
back then. Like he literally flipped the bill because he believed in it. He was like, okay, this is this is
As
this is, this is
H
it.
Prep Custom asked, how did you come up with your company name? And then he,
Greenwood.
yeah,
Yep. So that harkens back to me, born in New York in Greenwich Village in Greenwich, Connecticut, and being, going down to, Washington Square Park with, East Village. And so I wanted it to reflect my New York heritage.
he also asks, I'm just gonna read it so it won't forget too. What do you think of the custom sneakers world today? And the big question, do you consider LV, Louis Vuitton on Air Force fake or real?
That's
Uh,
so the sneaker. So let me address the sneaker world right now. And the sneaker, man, it's awesome. Like dudes have schools doing it. You are doing it. Like it's exploded. Like JBF, like that kid Jacob is just, he is so clean when he sews. It makes it just unbelievable.
One,
Alexander
it's like it
Jones,
sounds
boy
amazing.
AJ,
Like it's like what's it called when
come
you just
on.
listen to
Like,
the
so
sound?
like when we were doing sneakers, and I remember being so the three main influences when I was doing sneakers was uh Emmanuel Labor from Seattle, a black gentleman who was just killing the game. Like he was killing it. And then there's Mosh from New York, who's absolutely killing the game right now too. And those two guys were the guys that I looked up to. And then Soul Collector back in the day had this board where you could upload your new things, and then people would like critique how you would paint it, and what theme it was. And those two guys, I remember those two guys. And then there was Gourmet Kicks. He was a huge influence on me. He was from Chicago, the chef. And there was some other guys. But now today, it's changed so much with like vinyl lettering, and you can get a Cricut, and you can do cutouts, and there's airbrush, and like the shoe is so malleable now. Like the leather. Like back in the day, it was hard to get shit to stick to your shoe. Like,
Right.
it was like, okay, this guy spent this much, but he went to the club and they fucking fell apart, and they flaked off, whatever. But now, like
All of
the whole
yeah.
NFL cleat thing, and like the basketball players, like LeBron is wearing customs, and like, could you imagine Michael Jordan wearing a custom sneaker of mine on the court? Dude, there was no way. Like that would like, even like Rodman would have been down with it like back in the day. But like, imagine like the sneaker game today. I would say Nike, Reebok, Adidas, the big boys. I'm not going to mince words. They don't give a shit about us. They don't care. They don't care. They. It's amazing to me because back in the day, guys would get cease and assists for using the logos. You know what I'm saying? I would know guys that would get put out of business because they were reselling a shoe that Nike or Reebok or Adidas put out originally. They would manipulate the shoe and then sell. And if you got popular, the next thing you know, like, who's that? It's Nike. Hi, how you doing? You owe us like 20 grand. I'm like, what? Why am I? But now, like,
Yeah.
everybody's making a Nike stripe. Like,
Right.
like, I think one of the things that is a detriment is the resale market. I think that people that covet a shoe that normally comes out for $200 or $190 is still really difficult.
Yeah.
It's still really difficult to justify that type of money when you're in the middle of a pandemic, but then that shoe goes from $190 to $1,100, $2,200, $5,000, $35,000. Because there are Nikes out there right now that are $35,000. They're rare. They didn't do a lot of them. And it's just the fact that they are up on this plateau on the resale market where you could never, I mean, I don't care if you had Jay-Z money. You're going to spend $35,000 on a pair of sneakers. You got your priorities fucked up. Like, if you're going to do that, then you need to reevaluate your life. Like, and I know that there are guys out there that do that. There are guys,
Yeah.
you know, there are, but like, so I think that the people that take the courses and the people that are inclined to do shoe repair and to do shoemaking, I find out that very quickly they're like, okay, I'm not made for this. I'm just not made for it. I don't have the aptitude, because there's a lot of steps, right? There's a lot of things that you have to get right for it to look right, right? And if your last is off, or if you don't sew something properly, or if you don't do the like toe puff, and you don't skive it this way, and if you don't pay attention to what you were taught to do, the shit's gonna look crooked, right? Nobody wants to wear a crooked shoe, right? Like,
how did you, so I'm going back to your craft a little bit, but so shoe repair guy that you were working with, would you call him like your mentor in terms of like he taught you repair?
He was definitely, yep. So he was definitely nice enough to let me in the shop, right? So I paid him rent every month. His shoe repair knowledge wasn't really that extensive. It was the guy that was working for him, my friend Julio Sanchez, who eventually got the business from him. He's the one that gave me a lot of the boot knowledge and a lot of the shoe knowledge and the shoe repair industry knowledge that I acquired. And it was him who really, like, showed me how to fucking string weld, showed me how to fucking do cork, showed the lamping, like deconstruction. Okay, this is the Adler, this is the machine, this is what we do it, this is how you do it, here's the Landis. And instead of him,
all the
like
machines. Me, wow.
Yeah, well, I have them all here too. If you want to take a look at them, we can take a
tour.
Little. Not really that big, so and it's only me, so it's like, you know, nothing's getting done right now because we're doing this.
I know. It's okay. It's okay.
Know, right?
But
right?
So he taught you all the machines, and then
so instead of like, the whole thing is that instead of him doing it for me, like we would get Greenwich orders for, you know, like plaid with the orange, you know, like, I don't know if you can see that, but like we would get orders for that, and he would be like, no, you sew it. And I'm like, can you I'm willing to learn it, but like the Landis is a very formidable machine. Like, it's a very, I tell people all the time about the Landis, it'll tell you exactly how your day is going.
Yeah.
It'll tell you exactly, it's a good therapist. It'll tell you exactly if you're having a shitty day or if you're having a good day. Because if you're having a shitty day, it's going to go sideways on you, and you're just not going to pull that corner around, and it's going to go off.
And even though the shoes are almost done, right at the end, you're going to
right.
So
it'll tell you right away. It's a good therapist for me. So it took me a good 6 months to really sit on that machine, practice with a piece of leather, get the motion, get it, you know, especially with your feet too, you know, because it's like a manual car.
Yeah.
It's like a motorcycle.
Yeah.
You gotta know speed. You gotta Your left foot is the clutch. Like, so if you know how to drive a motorcycle or if you know how to drive a stick shift manual car, it helps.
Right.
It helps. It helps that if you know how to walk and chew gum at the same time, it helps you. But at the same time, if that machine breaks down on you, good luck to you.
Right.
Good luck
That's
to you.
hard.
Good luck that you because the minute you take one screw out, there's 6,000 other things that you're going to have to go through to get that screw back in.
Yeah. I know. It's hard. Malika
It's
says,
hard.
I cut my finger once on it. That's hard. And I had to learn to try it in the air.
You cut your
Scott
finger on
Seal.
one.
Yeah. Scott Seal Custom Leather says, I sew my sole on with a Cowboy 4500. I don't know what that
Wow.
is.
That's awesome.
That's cool. But then, so when you were learning / working on your orders,
Yep.
was
Try
that
about
like,
five.
was that
Try
100,
about five.
or you 100% in it, or did you have something
100%.
on the side, or
Kick it. You know me a little bit. I'm 100. Like I don't.
no dabble? Yeah.
There is no. We're either gonna die doing this, or
That's awesome.
it's all or nothing.
So
Let's do it. Like
yeah. Did you did you just dive in with, so say, the soles? You created all the dies. No, not dies. Sorry, molds for each size.
So let me grab. You want me to show them real quick? The three styles?
Yeah, can we see? And then I want to see your space.
You want to see the space? So here's the commando sole.
Commando sole, yeah. That's like a mixed rubber colors and.
Well, this is just a sample of what we can do, of what I can do. It's very hard rubber. It's solid. It's not blown. Here's the brick layer.
Is it like a rubber? Let me see. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a rubber.
Yeah.
It's definitely rubber.
Yeah.
So here's the
heavy because it's rubber, not as light as with the EVA mix.
So when I mix a EVA bubble in it when I go to pour it. So this is probably an ounce. It's probably an ounce.
Half.
But then it gets cut down because this is one size, and then it gets trimmed right, so it's lighter. But I move it up so the back end where it's the heaviest, where it's the thickest, doesn't weigh the shoe down. And then I have the ripple.
Cool.
It's flat.
Multicolor comes from putting multicolored rubber, like.
Yep. So I've gotten really good at doing camo and doing like mixed stuff. It's a separation. It's a 3-cup separation where you have like. You can be like artsy fartsy with it, like splatter paint, like Jackson Pollock kind of, where you can just like, and you just make sure it's level because they're open molds. So it's not like it gets shut down and then, and then it pops out. It's not like that.
Right.
It's not.
I'm actually surprised that you also don't get air bubbles or anything in those crevices because you have very intricate. Interesting. You just heat gun it, warm it up to melt it, and make sure.
Because then it. So the resin reaction heats up, right? Because it's TGR rubber and it's resin, right? So when it heats up and it goes into the mold, it starts to activate each other, heats up, and then if you add more heat to it, the bubble, the air comes up out of it, and it goes pop, 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 out of it, and then it becomes like this solid. See, there's no air.
Do you have to jiggle it to make sure the air pops? No.
You
don't want to jiggle it.
Just straight heat gun. That's all I do. And then I have a couple other ones that aren't really popular, that I had made. Like a dock sole. I have a dock sole that's there.
I would imagine it'll be super popular again now. It's
The
no?
dock sole.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm concentrating on my own stuff right now.
Okay.
Yeah, I've come to the realization that shoe repair. Look, I've done it for almost 10 years, right? It's definitely not going to pay the bills. It's tried to. It's very difficult. Um, so there's a couple factors why shoe repair is dying. Shoe repair, number one, shoe repair is dying because you have a fast fashion industry of the shoe industry, and it's backstabbing. Nobody in the shoe industry cares about the other person. They will steal your design, they will rip you off, and they will make, because they're a larger company,
Right.
they will rip you as fast as they can spit you out. They won't collaborate with you. They won't give you anything as far as them giving you notoriety unless you have money to give them to do a collaboration.
Right.
That's a different story. Like if you're Ronnie Fig or you're, Sebago or you're, some company, because so this is what I was told, right? Why, and I'll keep the company that I was dealing with anonymous, right? Because I'll keep them out of my
Yeah. But you had a incident where they came after you.
This is what they told me. So I knew the CEO, right? Great. We kicked it. We had dinner, drinks, and I don't drink, but nightlife, like we had dinner. Everything was awesome. I made him a pair of shoes. He loves them, and this guy is a big deal, right? He's got a lot of money, right? But not only does he have a lot of money, his company has a lot of money, a lot of influence, right? And I was like, man, if I get on this fucking team, man, it's a wrap, dude. Like, it's a wrap. Like 401k plan, we're flying in jets, we're going overseas, like we're doing it, right? He says, okay, get with my people. Okay, so okay, get with my people. He goes, meanwhile, I got, I'm gonna send you some shoes. I want this color, I want this color, I want that color. I'm like, okay, no problem. And I wasn't charging him a dime. I was being nice because I wanted to. I saw the forest through the trees, as they say. I wanted to like further the company, but at the same time,
yeah,
right,
yeah.
And he was like, okay, get with my people. I'm like, okay. He goes, how many of these can you do? I go, I don't know, man. It's just me, dude. He goes, okay, we'll work it out. Okay, well, you're the boss. Like, you're the CEO of the company. Like, you're the boss. So what you tell me, street code, G code, like, your word is bond, son. Like, because that's where I'm from, right?
Right.
I'm from an era where you give me your word, you shake my hand, it's a done deal.
Yeah.
Right? Like, otherwise I'm gonna catch you in the parking lot. And
what happened? Did you just see the same style come out the next season?
So this is exactly how it goes, right? So then I get into the inner workings of his company, right? So there's marketing, there's development, there's design, then there's VP of sales, like and then we all have conference calls and we're all talking to each other. Okay, Mr. Pamazzi, how many can you produce? Well, how many do you need? They're like, well, for this scale, we need about 100,000, 150,000. I go, hold up. You understand I do these by hand, right? It's just me, right? Dead silence. They're like, what? I go, yeah, it's just me.
Yeah.
He goes, you made dude's shoes that he wears in the office every day by hand? I go, yes, sir. He goes, good on you.
Yeah.
I said, well, I appreciate that. Thank you. He goes, yeah, but that's not going to work. How many can you get us? I go, I don't know.
Produced, yeah.
Maybe 14, and that's pushing. Like, that's pushing it. Like,
right, because
that's pushing it.
Is the upper? Did you make the upper and everything from scratch? No, you had the uppers.
It was an existing shoe from their company. where I took it and I manipulated it and I reconstructed it and then I pushed
Put
it
this
back out.
up, yeah, the sole.
Because that's what I'm good at.
Right.
I'm good at.
Okay.
That's what I'm good at.
You focused on that. Yeah.
That's my artistic eyeball where I can take what you designed and I go, okay, you didn't do enough. Like, here's this sole.
You have the tools to make it a little different too, and then also use the machines, put a welt on, like very well made in that sense.
Reconstruction. Very true.
Right.
And that's what he loved about it. He loved that bespoke part about it. Right. So sales comes up to me and they're like, so this is sales? I go, yes. And they're like, how many can you produce? I'm like, I don't know, 14. And then marketing comes in and goes, yeah, we're going to, we have this whole butcher idea, your shirt's off and you're sweaty and you're in a, like, and chopping your shoes up and there's like stuff here. I'm like, okay. And they're like, yeah, I don't think this is going to work. I'm like, really? They're like, yeah, you're just too slow. I'm like, so can you get me to China, like where your factory is?
Yeah.
And then I can sit there with the Chinese fucking people at the factory and I could tell them, hey, because China will make anything. They'll make anything. Like, they will make anything. Like, if you want an orange sole, they'll make it. Yeah. Like, they don't give a shit. Like, they'll make it. If you want, like, pony hair on a freaking virgin unicorn farting rainbows, they'll make it.
Yeah.
Like, I know this for a fact.
Right.
Especially in the shoe industry. And they're like, well, no, we're not going to do that. Okay, hold on one second. Can I go call him? Can I go call him real quick? They're like, yeah, sure. I get him on the phone. I go, hey, what's up, buddy? Hey, what's up, man? What's going on? How do you like the shoes I just sent you? Man, I'm wearing them right now. I'm rocking them, dude. They're dope, man. Thanks, man. Da-da-da. Awesome. So I'm in the conference call with your team, and they basically just fired me. And they're like, he's like, what? I go, this is the deal. And he goes, sorry, man. It's what it is. Like,
oh.
And I was just like,
oh,
okay,
man.
cool.
Okay,
cool. No, cool.
Right.
That's cool. 6 months later, #1 seller. They took my shit. They took it to the development. They took it to the design. They made it in China. And I see it at DSW.
Oh, man.
I see it at Nordstrom. And I'm like,
oh,
that's me.
yeah.
Like, that's me. Like,
That's
I go, honey.
a bummer.
I go, look, honey, it's my shoe. And they want like $120 for it. I was like, holy shit. And that's when I got the shoe industry sucks. Like the shoe manufacturer, like the business of it, right? But
don't get disheartened though. But you're still doing it, which is no.
Yeah, because you know what? I'm from the old school where my success is my revenge. You know what I'm saying? Like, my fire is so hot, so burning that when I'm at the table, I'm going to put my finger in your face and I'm going to say, I told you so. I told you I was going to be here. I told you what I was going to do and I showed you and I'm here at the table.
Do it.
Now you can't ignore me.
All right.
You can't ignore me.
Yep.
My success is the best revenge. Yeah. You know, I was a huge Biggie fan, right?
Yeah.
There's a lot of lyrics. I was a huge Tupac fan too, right? L.A. Like he was from New York, L.A. So Biggie and Pac were huge influence. So was Guru, Jay-Z, all those guys. Pac had the best line I ever heard in my whole life. Biggie had a lot of lines, and I replay them in my head a lot. I'm a killer, just don't push me.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
Like, I'm a killer, just don't push me. Like, I will get to that table. Believe you me, I will get to that table, and there's nothing you can do when I'm at that table. Because when I'm looking you in your face.
Yeah. Are you still on the journey?
You're
like, you're like, I am going to make it. I'm going to one day tell him, you know? All right, that's
Listen,
a
man,
motivation.
prison couldn't hold me down. This shit ain't gonna hold me down. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
listen, there's a lot of since I started this thing, there's been a lot of people by the wayside, business partners, cheerleaders, people that were in my corner, that weren't in my corner. I'll tell you this, the only person, and this is the truth, the only person that has been there from day one is my wife. She's
Mhm.
she's the only reason why I keep doing what I'm doing. Because she's the one that says, don't give up.
Yes.
Don't give up, Tommy. Don't give up. Do what you need to do. Because I've been trying to make my own boot almost 5 years now. And I can't. I finally found a factory that will do it. I literally, Kiko, I have the last. I have the patterns. I have the soul. I have everything to give to a factory and to make it. Everything. This is what I was told by American boot companies, by American factories here, Milwaukee, Oregon, California, Pennsylvania, Massachusetts, New York. Why would we let you in when you're hot fire and you'll take over production?
I can do it, but I'm coming to you because I don't want to do it. Why don't I don't get it. Interesting.
I go, say that again? Or it's go get the dyes.
Dyes being made.
Dyes in a graded double. They're like, that's like 50 grand. Like, I can't. Well, go get the dye. We'll do it for you. We have the brewing machine. We can, sure, we'll sample it for you. Or, yeah, we'll do a sample for $2,000. What?
Yeah.
Are they gonna make? Are they gonna be made out of baby foreskin? Like what? Like,
Expensive. Yeah, the time they put
you're gonna get a
in.
moil? Like who's making my shoe?
Did
Like,
you make your first sample yourself? Huh?
you want to see it? I have. You want to see it?
Yeah. I want to see it.
Well, I'm wearing. I'm wear testing. I'm wear testing one of them now, but this is
Grit
the
still,
first
but
one.
it's okay. I think you posted it on Instagram. Yeah, super sleek, simple, nice,
That's her.
beautiful.
Yep.
That's beautiful.
Yep. That's
And
her.
what's the leather? Or is
The leather. This leather is cow. It's just a beige leather. It's not nothing fancy. It's just a London tan, and this is going to be the first one. This is what we're
sole's
coming
gonna
out with.
be like you can pick from all your varieties that you have?
So, see, now there's the caveat. So I've learned through the business you can't run from
Choices.
Vibram. Yeah. Either you're gonna get down or you're gonna lay down. So so the plan is those come out, they have a Vibram sole on them. Price point, it's affordable, ship them out, do a pre-order, they get done, they get shipped straight to you. Now, once I start getting into other colorways, because I have other colorways, right? Then we take a couple of those, 10, 20 of them, do a special edition. Price point goes up. Now you have my sole on it. But the thing is that if you want a different sole on that, hey, this is how much it is. You want, red or blue or green, just email me. I'll do it for you. And then the other thing is if you buy a boot from me, within the first year, free resole. Nobody offers that. The one thing I would have to say, to be humble about it, my customer service is, because you talk to me. You don't talk to
Yes, it's you.
the person that I'm paying to answer the phone, or
it's you.
you talking to the guy that's making it. You're talking to the guy that's repairing it. you're talking to the guy that's going to ship it. You're talking to the guy that your money goes into his bank account that feeds his kid.
Yep. Can I
So
ask you?
No, go ahead.
But I want to see, like, what's your favorite tool, the hand tool of your trade? Like, because you do repair plus make plus outsole making, there's molds. What's your, like, the tool you can't live without for your work?
Well, I mean, obviously.
Hammer. I'm surprised. Yes.
That's, you know,
Yeah.
it goes good in the car too when you're in traffic.
Yeah, just show it to people.
Yeah. And then
ask what machine is your favorite of what you own. Oh, that's your knife. That's your clicking knife.
Yeah. This is my knife. I would say this is
it's
the
a
money maker right here.
Call it pliers. Ooh, pliers.
Yeah, but
it's
so
different.
Instead of buying pliers, this is a horse nail clipper.
Wow.
Because I'm out in the farm, so I get these all day long.
Wow.
I have this one too.
Oh.
So this is Bertha.
Bertha.
This is Big Bertha.
Oh, it's huge. Wow. Wait, I'm looking at your hand, so like it's like this.
Yeah. So this
big.
These actually cut horse nails. So that's where I got them from.
Wow. So you use that to take off the sole, basically.
Correct. And then I would have to say my other favorite, the one tool that I can't live without.
Huh? Yes. The what do you call it? You just put it in there. What? Heel pry. Yeah.
Yeah. This is the one tool I can't live without. And then there's this
nail,
the comb nail picker.
Yeah.
I mean, I have a lot, but those are the main ones.
Yeah.
So real quick, the story with the sample boot, and hold on.
Yeah. Main project you're working on right now, like this.
Yeah. I got a lot of stuff. I'll give you a tour in a second. Yeah. So this is my last, right? This is mine, right? So this came. So the story goes is that in Minnesota in the 40s, there was a store called Goki's. And Goki's was like an Abercrombie sports, like a Dick's Sporting Goods, where you could buy shotguns and you can buy, a tent, and you can buy boots. You can buy Woolrich, like a wool hunting suit, and go hunting in Minnesota, right? So the story goes is that old man Goki, who was from Jersey, moves out to St. Paul because they have room for him and fishing and wild and game. Jersey wasn't so apt. So Minnesota was like the Wild West. But he started making this Carolina boot. It was called a snake boot. And it was made out of French boot sauvage leather, right? Which is the thickest leather in the world, right? So the French make a leather called boot sauvage, and it's super, super thick, and it's snake-proof. So when hunters would wear this leather, the snake wouldn't penetrate.
Oh, interesting. Right? Okay, yeah.
So old man Goki would, in the window in St. Paul, he would have a guy wearing his boots with poisonous snakes biting him.
Oh, wow.
So people would see this. Now, this is the story. Yeah. So he would have cobblers make these boots in St. Paul, right? And then he would make, a chukka, like a mock toe chukka.
Yeah.
He would make like a camping loafer,
Yeah.
but he made different things.
Yeah.
So he couldn't find any decent master cobblers
Yeah.
to teach other people how to do it, right?
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
So he found 3 Auschwitz survivor, Holocaust survivors
Mm-hmm.
in Europe
Uh-huh.
that were cobbling these boots in France,
Uh-huh.
moved them to St. Paul
Uh-huh.
to teach everybody how to make these boots.
Boots. Wow. Right? Uh-huh.
And in the boots from Goki, they would put their last 3 numbers that were tattooed on them.
Wow. Okay.
From Auschwitz. And me being a Jewish kid from New York and living with Holocaust survivors, that means a lot to me.
Yeah.
So fast forward 2009, 2010, I go to an estate sale and I find the last living guy who passed away. His wife sold me all of his Goki material, all of his Goki that he used to make. And he got taught by the 3 cobblers, and what he had in that estate sale.
These. Wow. That's like super amazing.
So this is old. So this is this style and this almond toe, and this is the way it is. And it's from Jones and Vining.
Jones and Vining, yeah.
So, and you can see it says
Jones and Vining.
Jones and Vining.
Yeah. That's great.
So when I met the guys at Jones and Vining down in Alabama,
you brought it over. Did you show them?
I did. And the oldest dude in the whole factory, he looked at the last. He goes,
"Oh, it's Goki."
he kind of turned his head. He goes,
"Oh, you're pausing at the best part." Hello. Yeah.
So this is original Goki last. I haven't changed it at all. There's been a little minor things, but we had Jones and Vining. So when Jones and Vining redid them because these are updated for new. Jones and Vining basically gave me a super sweet deal, and they said, "Can we keep
the original?"
I go, I don't know. Are you going to reproduce it? He goes, "No, it's going in the archives. We don't have it." I said, "Well, every time I need a last, you'll make me one." And the guy goes, "I promise."
Oh, that's
so
great.
That's the history of where my last comes from, and where my last was made, and how my last is doing on the boot.
Wow, and that's the project, and it's a big project to take on. I think, did you kind of use the time last year as well to kind of develop that, and this time that you had, like, was that something that you've been brewing for a bit?
So like I said before, I've been turned down by a lot of people, and I had resolved myself that I was going to ask this sneaker factory to actually try to make this for me, and they were going to make a sample for me for, I don't know, $2,000 or something like that. And I was already resolved to spend that money and get it done, and I sent them the DSX files, and like I mean, literally, Kiko, I tell you, I have everything. I have everything. I have the files that are graded, everything whole, like everything, right? We took a family vacation to Mexico in November, and I was discussing it with my wife. I'm like, listen, like, because my mother lives in Mexico, and we were mulling it over, and I was like, I really don't want to spend $2,000 for another sample, and this and that, da-da-da. And I'm on my phone, like it's like a Sunday night or something. And I've always known about this factory in Leon.
Yeah.
And I've always wanted a pair of shoes from them. They're a cowboy boot factory.
Yeah.
And they're Mexican.
Yeah.
And I get into their DM and I go, hey, I'm here in Chapala. I'm right next to Ajijic. I'm about 2 hours away from you. I would love
to come
meet
visit.
with you.
Yeah.
And I'd been trying to talk to them 4 years, 5 years.
Uh-huh.
Literally, the grandson who runs the factory now, literally 30 seconds in my DM. Oh my God, how are you? This and that. You're here in Mexico, blah, blah, blah. I go, yeah. He goes, man, I've been following you for 2-3 years.
Oh,
I go, really? He goes, oh. He goes, come.
yeah.
Come to Lyon. I go, well, I'll try. And we were there for a while.
Yeah.
So put the kid, the wife, get in the car. We drive to Lyon. Unbelievable. They're working on my samples now.
Great.
They're gonna be, they have all the styles. I have everything set up.
Good.
So the factory is used to making boots, so that it's not far away from what I need.
And you can provide them with the last and everything. So
they've already reproduced the last couple times.
Okay,
so
good.
Well, we're adjusting it because it's never really been like formed hard. So there's adjustments, like, the upper arch needs to be a little wider. The toe has to come out a little more. Like, it still has to be adjusted.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's good.
Because Jones and Binding, they don't do that. Like, they just, this is what you want? Okay, cool. Here you go. So I have, most of these, but I haven't really, you can see marks on it where I've done, I've done prototyping stuff and have, the metal on some of them.
That's cool. But, so what you're wearing now to wear test, is it made by you or made by Mexico? Mexico. Cool. Oh, I can't wait to see. Yeah, it's really about face-to-face, meeting the person. And it goes quick once you meet them, right?
Yeah,
somehow.
For sure.
Yeah.
There's the test.
Oh, nice. Okay. Wow. That's great. Well, yeah. The welts. Machine. Well, yeah. Goodyear. Okay. Wow. Very cool. Very cool.
And you see all the Louis Vuitton that we just put out for everybody.
Yeah.
Louis Vuitton.
Yeah.
Oh, we never answered that guy's second question.
Oh, about Louis Vuitton. Do you think it's fake or not? Yeah.
So I would say, for me, I use real Louis Vuitton leather.
Yeah.
Like I actually get purses that either are for sale on eBay or Macari or Depop or whatever, and they're not repairable. Louis Vuitton doesn't have like a repair section. Like they don't. There are guys that do repair, like Steve Douglas in Virginia, Bedos Leather Works. He does awesome. That guy is just inspiring. That guy, and so most of the Louis Vuitton that are on sneakers that you can buy at a store probably isn't real.
You think so? Okay.
Oh, for sure.
Oh,
for sure. Because why would Louis Vuitton let them do that?
Well,
wouldn't it be sold at a Louis Vuitton store?
Right. Oh, I'm thinking custom ones, like someone.
So custom ones, you really have to ask the creator. You have to ask the guy who's making your shoe if it's real or not.
Yeah. They can authenticate it. Yeah.
Right. And it's very hard for them to authenticate it, but I guarantee that mine's real because I will show you the bag that it came from.
Right,
like I will show you
and stuff. Yeah.
Right. So so I just dropped that Louis Vuitton wingtip shoe that's been doing really well for the pre-order. I'm blessed is an overused word, but I'm really, really surprised on. People are just like, yeah, man, I need those in my life.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I'll make them for you. It's not a problem.
And is the style yours? Your new style, kind of like this?
No, so they're used wingtips. They're recycled wingtips, just like the old business model.
Yep.
Where we deconstruct it.
Yep.
We reconstruct it with the Louis Vuitton. We re-midsole it. If the welt needs to be re-welted, we'll re-welt it. But most of the time, it's the old wingtip.
Yeah.
New midsole, new outsole, deconstruct it, put the Louis Vuitton leather in it, and
out. Wow, cool.
Stitch.
I would love to see your space.
You want to see the space?
Yes, please.
What do you want to start with?
Tabletop.
The work table.
Yeah,
Here's the work table.
Uh-huh.
Here's the workbench.
Uh-huh.
Well, let's start here. Let's do this.
Okay.
Let's start.
You have a big space. And is it like
It's a warehouse.
warehouse?
Yeah, it's a warehouse. Yep. So here's the space.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
It's about
Wow.
500 square feet.
Nice.
It's not a lot of space, but it's enough.
I think it's a lot of space. Yeah. Wow.
so?
Uh-huh.
So
Yeah.
we have
I
this
post.
path.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's for sale.
Oh, it is?
And-
You don't like it anymore?
No, I'm gonna get rid of it. I don't need it.
Mm.
All this is for sale.
Oh, the
I need to get
5-in-1?
rid of it. Oh yeah, all this.
Wow. And the long arm too. Wow.
Yeah.
That's a flatbed?
Yep. And then the 3-in-1, the 5-in-1.
Yeah.
And then if you turn over here, here's the Adler, the Sutton
Yeah.
that gets stitched, and then we're getting rid of this.
Yeah. Oh, Scott Seal Custom Leather. No, he's in Minnesota. Just letting you know. Yeah, Singer. That's a Singer.
Yep.
And is that a
And here's the
heel nailer?
Yeah. Yep. The Auto Solar,
Yeah.
one of the original Auto Solars
Yeah.
from back in the day.
Yeah. We used to
Here's
have
the
those.
baby.
Oh, that's the Landis.
Yeah. Here's the backbone
Landis curved needle, is it called?
curve stitcher.
Yeah. Landis.
Yep.
Is it Landis K? Landis L?
Yep. It's the K, and then there's, I don't know if you can see it, but there's the
Oh, Model K shoe stitcher. Yeah. Wow, cool.
yeah. So and
You
then we have
mhm.
a K stitcher. Here's the McKay stitcher.
It's a chain stitch. Yeah.
Yep. Does all the Nike Cortezes that I do.
Nike Cortezes. Okay.
And then here's the Auto Solar. Here's another Lavardo. This is the bigger press.
Bigger press. Yeah.
Here's an Auto Solar nailer.
Yeah. Yeah. I used to have
Here are
those
all
too.
the clamps.
Clamps. Oh, yeah. The manual. Yes.
Old school around here, buddy.
Yeah.
We're old school around
Wow,
here.
that's what you need. They work, you know, especially
This is
also
the
for the
work
dress shoes you have. Oh, and the sander. Yeah.
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 So that's the
The what you call grinding the wheel. Uh-huh.
yeah, it's got a shine, the num keg
Num keg, yeah.
to the finisher.
Yeah. Yeah.
Num. Here's the shine, the buff
Yeah.
shine.
Wow, you collected
Here's the
all
shine
this.
table.
Yeah.
Oh,
Did you
here's the shine table.
yeah. Do you so you said you're in a warehouse. Is it near your home or is it
It's about, and then here's the work table.
work table
Here's all the stuff that
in
we're
repairs?
working
Yeah.
on.
Is it like somebody can just come in or is it by appointment only?
So right now, because of COVID, I am by appointment only.
Uh-huh.
I have to do it that way just to keep
Yeah.
everybody safe. And
Yeah.
I've never,
Is it-
ever since we closed the shoe repair shop down,
Yeah.
and I bought everything from them.
Okay.
I just decided, you know what, I'm gonna make some cards, give them around town, and just do by appointment only.
Yeah.
And it's worked. I mean, it's
Mail
it's
in, like
done.
contactless, almost like
mail in is like, obviously I started like that's how we started.
yeah,
like-
mail in.
The only thing I can't show you today is the molds. That gets done at the house.
Okay.
I don't do the molds. I don't do the soles here. I do them at the house where it's controlled environment downstairs in the basement where I have heat and environment control, like nothing foreign could bother it. You know,
Right.
It's downstairs.
No
in the basement.
dust, like not no dust, but like no
Really
shoe dust.
but it's like my finished basement. So I have a part of that finished basement where I pour, and it just does what it needs to do, and it just cures. And nobody goes down there unless I go down there. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Question:
Cool.
How long does it take to cure for your stuff?
So the recommendation is 24 hours. I've pulled them out of the mold in 30 minutes, and I've cured them in 16 hours. But a full pour would be 24 hours.
24 hours. Yeah.
So I pull them about a half hour. So if I'm going,
Yeah.
like if I have a lot going,
Yeah.
I'll let them sit. I'll let them cure for about 30 minutes so they get solid.
Yeah.
Then I'll pull them out and I'll lay them on a table.
Yeah.
So they can just cure. And then I go to the next one. Wait about 30 minutes, make it, do it like that. So I have constant, constant motion.
Yeah.
Constant flow. Yep, for sure.
Wow. Cool. So what do you think you want to be doing like in 3, 5, 10 years? Do you feel like you want your line of, you're just starting your new journey with your boots that you're going to have like ready to wear?
Yeah.
Do you think?
So, couple things. In the next 3 years, next 4 years, I want to definitely have all my boot styles. I want to have the wing tips, the lows, the long wings available online and maybe hopefully in some stores. But retail is, retail is retail.
Tricky right
it's
now.
Like the stock market, you can never.
Hard.
I was told a long time ago, if you ever think you could understand how the retail market goes, get out of the business. That's what I was told.
Right.
And I was told that
but you're going into it. But you can do direct.
Well,
no.
Well, retail business is like brick and mortar.
Right.
Like because I know that the boot that I showed you.
Yeah.
So I understand that not everybody wants this, right?
Right.
Not everybody wants, all the bells and the whistles, right? And I understand that. Sometimes, Sometimes I don't want to wear crazy shit. I don't even want to wear my shit sometimes, like the glow in the dark shit. Like,
that's fantastic.
It's cool. Like if I'm going somewhere and, we're coming out of dinner and, it's kind of dusk and people look over and your shoes are glowing, they're like, whoa, that's pretty cool,
Yeah.
But at the same time, the reason why I'm starting off with that one is because that's going to be the backbone of the company.
Okay.
That's
your baby.
That's my red wing pillar.
Right.
My red wing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That boot will always be made in that leather, in those soles.
Yeah.
Like,
and then you can customize it to do something special with your talents that you have. Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah. Cool.
So eventually 5, maybe 10 years from now, what I would like is I would like to have God, I don't want to say this out loud because I don't want someone stealing it from me.
Oh, okay. It's okay.
It's okay. I know.
You don't have to.
Be able, No. To be able to go to the website and almost like have a carousel 3D model of a bespoke boot that I've created. It's like a Nike ID.
Yeah.
But for boots.
Yeah. Why not?
With a colored sole, lining, leather.
Don't wait. I'm just saying, don't wait 10 years, please. You should just do it now. The technology is there.
I know, but I don't have Nike money to put it together.
You know what? There's so many. I realize with all the VR stuff like people do with this,
Yeah, for sure.
All these.
So that's funny because I was just approached by a really good friend of mine. He's like, hey, I go, what's up? And he's huge Bitcoin guy, like blockchain, like stocks, like it's got a lot of money. I go, yeah, what's up, bro? And I've known him for 30 years. He's known me a long time.
Yeah.
I go, what's up, bro? He's like, hey, man, can you make me a virtual shoe?
Virtual shoe?
So,
Funny.
What do you mean?
Yeah. I mean, the iPhone 12 now does the 3D scan of everything. It's like, it doesn't work for shoes because of the white, 1 centimeter gap, not gap,
So what he wants to do, and what we're talking about is putting shoes into the virtual world where you can buy the shoes to put on whatever you want to put on in the virtual world.
Yeah, as a commodity to buy online. Yeah, yes, do
I don't
it.
have to. I don't have to make shit.
Yeah, you don't have to make shoes. It's just like designing and putting out there. Do
If I
it.
could get my 6-year-old to do some crayons and shit and just
Yeah.
I go, okay, explain this to me, dude. He goes, listen, dude, this is the deal. We're gonna take one of your shoes, right? That nobody's seen yet and you haven't made yet, and we're gonna put it in virtual world. I go, okay.
Yeah.
He goes, it's a 3D model and you can see it all the way around, and then you can put it on your wardrobe.
Yeah. Yeah.
I go, whose wardrobe? He goes, virtual wardrobe. Well,
Yeah, do it. Yeah, I know. You laugh about it now, but I think do it.
like, who's gonna wear them? He goes, you'd be surprised.
Yeah, and someone's Scott Seal custom leather, or if you could try on shoes via VR headset. Yeah, like now it's all
That's what he said that
there.
too,
I
yeah.
feel
Yeah,
like
all
it's
the-
just like that cusp, right?
So that's the future.
Yeah.
For Greenwich Vintage. Obviously, I can put together. I have stuff. I've designed actual photo, like design stuff for probably the next 10 years. Like I've designed seasons up until, if I showed you actually what I have designed for the next
You
10
have
years,
so many. It's not like you
I have
put it out in the world, but yeah.
That's the graffiti writer in me, right?
Right,
I'm always
it's the
like,
artist.
Yeah. Right. Always in graffiti, like you're always working on your penmanship, you're always working on your lettership, you're always working on your paint skill, you're always, adapting. Like one of the things that I tell people all the time, they ask me, you did graffiti for 35 years, 40 years. What was it like? Like what's the negative and the positive? I go, the negative and the positive is you have an affair with the spray paint can. So I had an affair with a spray paint can for like 35 years.
Yeah.
It was my mistress. Like the spray paint aerosol can is literally the hardest medium to control.
Do you have a tattoo of a spray paint can? No.
I do on my leg.
Okay.
He's wearing wing tips. He's wearing colored symbols.
Do you have any shoes on your body?
I do.
You do? Can you show us? Did you make the art?
They're on my leg.
Okay.
No, they're on my leg. I'd have to.
Oh, okay. Did you draw it?
No, I had very famous tattoo. I know a lot of famous tattoo artists, guys that are way better than I am, and I give them the idea, or I just let them
do their art.
Just do like, this is what I want. Like, do it. On my left leg, my buddy Robert Holly. I said I wanted to incorporate the coat of arms for my family in Hungary with the wingtip shoe. So he did that. I have that on my left.
Wow.
I have that on my left leg, and then I have 2 pieces from my buddy Jimmy Litwalk. There's a Timberland boot with its mouth open with an eyeball like creature. Like,
wow.
And then I have the spray paint can with wingtips on with his arms crossed like a b-boy.
Oh, funny. Cool. See, I thought maybe because you are a graffiti artist, like you also make your artwork too, but I guess in a way you're supporting and like this.
Yeah, I have. I mean, I have stuff that I've done. Like I drew that. Like I have. Okay, like I drew this. It's I'm old.
Canvas.
Like just like it's whatever.
It is your canvas in a way. Yeah.
It is. My wife's like, just not your hands. I'm like, man, I wanted like Caravaggio, the John the Baptist in this hand. And I wanted like epic shit on my fingers and my hands, Yeah. But I still haven't really done this side of me yet.
Right.
Because I'm waiting. I'm doing my son. So I have my oldest here. I have my middle child here, and then my 6-year-old is going here, and I'm getting all this lasered off because I always call him my right hand man. He's my right hand.
Right.
So he's gonna go on my right.
Oh, nice, nice. Oh, cool. That's
Yeah.
gonna be nice. Is he like
Yeah.
gonna apprentice with you at some point, you think?
Yeah, he does. He comes and he'll Dad, yeah, I got a customer coming. You do? Yeah, I need a hammer, I need nails.
Uh-huh.
Can I have some leather?
Oh,
Oh
cool.
yeah. I have scraps of leather laying around. I'm like, yeah. And he goes, I need a sole. Do you have a shoe? I go, I thought your customer was supposed to do that for you. He's like, yeah. And then he'll sit here and he'll bang on it and he'll get on the grinder and he'll shave it.
Yeah.
He likes cleaning the shop though. For
Oh,
some
sweet.
reason, he likes cleaning the shop. He's like, I'm
Oh,
gonna clean the grinder, and then he takes the blower, takes
that
the
is
air
so great.
compressor.
You
Yeah,
always need a
he's.
studio cleaner, so right?
I always need a guy
Yeah.
to clean up. For sure.
Yeah, yeah. That's
Did
good.
somebody just ask us a big question?
Wait,
Let's see.
yeah, just there's a guy who was saying, good book to look into, A Lifetime with Boots by Sam Lucchese. And then he
Yep.
tells the story how his family went from making boots by hand to mass production and the experience that they had. And then
I
a new
read the book.
technology that came out while they went through it all. Yeah, you just kind of
Lucchese boots.
adapt with the times, right? Yeah, Lucchese boots.
Lucchese boots.
Cool.
These were about $3,000 right here.
Nice.
I redid them for a guy. I redid them.
Wow. Yeah, yeah,
I read that book.
yeah.
I read that book. There's not a lot of stuff
Do
in
you-
shoe repair that I don't know about.
Right, right,
You know?
right.
I
But
mean,
are you gonna
you're
keep
always
on doing the
learning.
shoe repair? You're always gonna keep on doing the shoe repair though, even
If I
as you do the
have,
boots.
yeah, I mean, I'm just not gonna depend my life on it. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? Like, I'm not gonna. If it pays the rent, cool. Like, awesome.
Great.
But like that Path Stitcher, the Singer, like all the 3-in-1. It's just those are boat anchors, man. Nobody wants them. They're just sitting at the shop, and I feel bad because I got to throw them out.
What?
But,
Hello.
oh yeah.
Wait, I'm gonna find a buyer for you.
Okay.
There's people who want them because
I'll,
also you know how. I mean, but yeah, you feel
I'll
like
sell this path. This path. I'll take. Fuck. I'll take a couple bucks for it. Like, I need to get the fuck out of here, man.
oh
I've had that path machine. There's a little thing missing, a little part missing, but
are
I've
you?
had it here for. It's never worked. Like, I've never.
I
seen
see.
it.
But you're
It's
you're
needed
keeping the
something.
space and like
Yep.
it's
So obviously, what we'll do is once production starts to ramp up, sales and styles come out,
Yeah.
and we'll start to ship, and we'll start to produce, and then obviously, I'm still going to keep stuff here because I want to be able to peel off whatever is going to come in, and then put something new on there.
if necessary.
And
Right.
right when I go to do some custom stuff that is not available in Mexico,
Yeah.
coming to me.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Cool. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing your new boots come. Let us know, give us a shout out so I can share it
Sure.
too. And then I want to also see this virtual reality Zen shoes out there because I really think that's the thing to do. And there's
That's the
so many
future,
kids
right?
who can they can 3D model for you as like a project easily.
He's like seriously, he called me this morning. He's like, I already got like 3 developers on it right now. I need more shoes. I'm
Cool.
like,
Well,
here.
but make
Like,
sure
here.
that your design is, I mean, I'm like now like worried that this person's gonna like rip you off now, but I'm like, just okay. He's a good friend. Okay.
I've known him for 30 years.
Yeah,
Like,
good. Okay, good.
He's not in the business of ripping
Good.
me off.
But he wants to help you and also have fun. Right.
He's huge in Bitcoin right now. Like, he's Ethereum, and like he's really blockchain. Like, he knows what's really going on. And
Right.
it's like, I told you.
Right.
You could be a millionaire right now. You could be a Bitcoin millionaire right now. And I'm like, I go, dude, I didn't have $1,500.
Right.
He
Timing
goes,
is everything. This is a good
he goes,
timing. So for you, I feel like don't wait 10 years. Get this going with your friend. It's
yeah.
fun. Let it go. And we'll
Well,
see,
it's
you
it's
know?
just, so I look at it like this. I can always design more.
Oh yeah. You have
So
it
it's
all in
not a big
you.
deal to me. Yeah,
Make more.
it's not a big deal to me.
You're the
I can
artist.
always
Yeah.
design more. Yeah, I can always design more. I can always make more.
Yep.
And,
That's so
you know,
great.
it's in space somewhere.
Yes. Yes.
And if somebody wants to, if somebody wants to pay $6 million for it,
Go for it, right?
cool,
Yeah.
man.
Good, good.
Cool.
Okay.
Hey, check it out. I got about 10 others for $6 million, bro. If you really want, like, I'll shoot you like 20 right now. Like, I'll give you a discount. I'll give you
Yeah.
5 million. How's that? But I was just
Looking forward.
I was just reading an article about the guy that paid for his pizza in Bitcoin, and he ended up, if he would have bought it today, he ended up paying $613 million for that pizza.
Oh my God. That's so
And
crazy.
he gave that company 10,000 Bitcoin to deliver pizza. Can you
That's
believe
so
that?
crazy.
Dude,
See?
I would blow
Yeah.
my brain. I would blow my brains out. I'd be like, I spent $613 million on pizza.
Oh my God. But then also like, you know, the digital art that sold for what was it? 6 million bucks or something? Or
Yeah,
63
the
million? I
JPEG, right?
forget. Yeah, I
So
forgot. But you
so
know,
that was so that's what my buddy brought up. He goes, listen, man, I know that guy. I go, you do? He goes, yeah. I go, what was the point? He goes, it's something that nobody can get.
right.
Nobody can get it.
Yeah.
That's why it went that high.
Yeah.
So nobody can get it.
Right.
Nobody can say that they have that piece of art.
Yeah.
I'm like,
I think
okay, he goes,
you're onto something. You know,
onto something.
yeah, this platform only gives us 2 hours and it's actually almost been 2 hours.
Very good. Thank you.
So I'm gonna have to let you go. But I'm really
Yeah,
looking
if you
forward
want that, if you know anybody that wants the path or any of this stuff, just let me know.
Yeah, well, do you think you can like take close-up photos and descriptions
Sure,
and
absolutely.
list it and I'll
I'll
repost
email
it?
them to you. Yeah, I'll email them to you for sure.
Yeah, or DM or whatever.
Yeah, for sure.
Cool.
And everything good for you. Everything's okay. I see you're working hard, and the cheetah shoes back there.
That one's just a process.
Those look good. My wife would be totally awesome. My wife would be all over them. She'd be like, make sure I get an 8.5 in those.
Yeah, right?
So the move was okay. The move was good.
It was good. Yeah. It's a good spot.
Awesome.
I'll do a little
So
video tour soon.
So you're up in Westchester County?
No, in Brooklyn.
Oh, you're in Brooklyn?
Yeah.
Still?
Yep.
Oh, I thought you moved to Westchester County for some reason.
No, I moved up to Catskills for like last year, big half of last year. Yeah, because of COVID.
Oh, because of COVID.
Yeah.
Okay. But now you're in the city. You're in Brooklyn.
Yep. Back in the
Where in
city.
Brooklyn? Where?
East Williamsburg, Greenpoint border, East Williamsburg border, Bushwick border. It's like a little nook.
The ghetto. We used to call that the ghetto. I'm sure it's not ghetto anymore.
A fancy neighborhood ghetto now. Yeah, it got a little fancy, but yeah.
I remember when nobody was
one day.
Yeah, hopefully we'll see. I want to take the kiddo there for sure.
Yeah, so. Definitely.
All right. Well, I appreciate
Thanks so much for taking your time today.
Appreciate it. Yeah. I hope everybody enjoyed.
All right. Bye.
Thanks. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.